At number 10, I've got West Virginia with Will Grier, Heisman Trophy candidate. 5 touchdowns last week against Kansas State. They just blew the doors off the Wildcats. It's a really good football team, likely going to be 7-0 going into the month of November. At number 9, I've got Notre Dame. The switch in quarterback really changed the trajectory of their season. I believe that they're a much better football team now with Ian Book at the helms of the offense, and we know that their defense can play salty at times. So Notre Dame stays in the top 10 at number 9. At number 8, I'm rolling with Penn State. What a huge game they've got this week against Ohio State. It's been a lot of Trace McSorley getting them out of trouble. They obviously pulled away late against Illinois, but there are some holes on that football team, namely on the defensive side. They've got to get it shored up before the Buckeyes roll into town. At number 7, it's Stanford. What a win Saturday night, pulling really a win from the jaws of defeat in that last few minutes after the fumble from Oregon. I was impressed with their character. They could have packed it in, looked like it was going to be 31-7. All of a sudden, they get a defensive score. Stanford's a really good team, and I think that confidence is going to pay dividends in this huge matchup with Notre Dame next week. At number 6, it's LSU. I still think they've got one of the best resumes in the entire country, but I just cannot break them into the top 5 because they're not good enough offensively. You cannot convince me that they're going to get into a shootout with anybody of substance during the course of this season and be able to hang. So LSU is going to sit right outside of the top 5 for me at number 6. Dropping to number 5, it's Oklahoma. We know they can score, and I get it. They only ran 40 offensive plays against Army because Army held the clock for so long. I'm not concerned with the lack of production offensively in that Army game. I am concerned that they can't get off the field and they don't tackle well on the defensive side. That defense now continuing as a problem for Oklahoma. They're going to need to get that corrected because in a couple of weeks, you know what they've got, Red River and a Texas team that has a lot of confidence. At number 4, it's Clemson. Clemson still has not put it together and played a complete game. I still think that their potential is much higher than what we've seen, but we know they're very talented. We know their defense is very good. After what Bama did to Texas A&M, they lose a little bit of their luster, but Clemson is going to be number 4 this week for me. At number 3, it's Georgia. I thought Georgia just played a lackluster game against Missouri. Missouri should not be able to hang with Georgia, and yet they were able to do so. I thought the defense for Georgia played really well, but at times they looked uninterested. Maybe it was the early kick, maybe it was being on the road. All of those factors I'm sure play a part, but for me, Georgia is going to be number 3. At number 2, and the highest ranking they've had from me all season, it's the Ohio State Buckeyes. That offense is incredible. Dwayne Haskins is a legitimate Heisman Trophy candidate. 21-24, over 300 yards, 5 touchdowns in one half of football. This dude is insanely talented. That offense is insanely talented. The only question for me is, can they win big-time games without Bosa? We're going to see very soon. At number 1, it's the Alabama Crimson Tide. No secret there. Week in and week out, they continue to be the most dominant team in the country. They continue to be one of the most dominant offenses in the country. They've got a transcendent quarterback now. It's going to take a Herculean effort for any of these teams, even in the top 10, to upset Alabama this year. Might be talking about one of the best teams in the history of our sport. But don't tell Nick Saban. He wants you to talk about what they do wrong. I still can't find it.